The Sounders' season is over. The Kraken continue their losing ways. Blake Snell wants to be a Mariner. And the Seahawks are looking to bounce back this week. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show. I'm your host, Mikey. And let's dive straight into the Seattle Sounders. And unfortunately, the Sounders season has come to an end this last week in losing to LAFC in the semifinals, 1-0. And yeah, just a bummer. The season's over. Was hoping that they we're going to go all the way and bring home another championship, but it was not to be this year. Again, falling 1-0, and that also means that the time for Nicholas Lodeiro in Seattle is done as well. I guess never say never type of thing, but it's pretty well known that Nicholas Lodeiro will not be returning to the Sounders going forward from here. I mean, Seattle legend, right? I mean, won 2 MLS Cups with the Sounders, so legend, and just bummer that we weren't able to get one more with him while he was here, and that's going to be some big shoes to fill when as they try to figure it out now in the off season. All right, so that's your Sounders. Let's go ahead and let's move on to let's keep it going with some losing teams. Let's go with the Kraken next. All right, and the Kraken, they just continue to lose now. Since our last episode, they have lost to Vancouver 5-1, and then they lost to Chicago 3-4. And yeah, this team just does not have any identity. They don't look good at all. They're not very fun to watch. Like I said, for me, no hockey expert, just somebody who became a Kraken fan when they joined here. Watch a little bit of hockey when I was little, but was really excited to get into hockey now that there was that there is a professional hockey team in my city. And this year I was like, because that first year was expansion team, did not go well at all. Second year, wow, we make the playoffs, and that was so exciting. And so this year I've been making a point to watch all the games and to get to learn hockey better. And unfortunately, this is not the way I wanted to learn hockey. I was hoping I'd be watching the Kraken as a winning team and be learning so much about the Kraken because I would be watching them and learning, okay, well, what makes them so good? Instead, this year I'm watching and I'm learning a lot about hockey, but it's because I'm trying to figure out what makes the Kraken so bad, you know? Uh, and I just really wish it was the other way around. But yeah, unfortunately, they do not look like a good team. Again, my untrained eyes, you know, I'm not going to claim to be an expert, so I can't really say why, but just I mean, when I'm watching, they just seem to have no identity. I mean, it seems like nobody on the team wants to shoot the puck. Uh, yes, there are some games here where you hear me say like, "Oh, they scored 2 goals, or they scored 3 goals, they scored 4 goals," which is all fine and dandy. They're when they shooting the goals, right? They're hitting. So I don't know why they're not shooting more. They can literally like be dancing around and skating around forever uh, in the enemy territory and not shoot the puck. They can have power plays and hardly get any shots off. I just do not know what's going on with this team. It just doesn't make it very fun or exciting to watch. It's just a big yeah, it's a big bummer to it be as excited as I was going to this season about the Kraken and about learning more about hockey, and for it to turn out like this, to be learning about hockey because your team is bad and you want to figure out what's making them bad. Why are they so bad in transition? Why don't they take more shots? Um, you know, it's just it's just a bummer. So, um, they have recalled Marion Studenik from the Firebirds. I don't really expect that to do anything. This team just they need to get, they need to get on top of it. They need to shoot the puck. I mean, that's just as as a casual fan of hockey, I need to see this team shoot the puck more and you know give yourself a chance, because at least if you're shooting the puck, it's making it exciting. But again, I mean, just the large amounts of time where they even have control of the puck and they're still not getting shots off, it just baffles me. You would think you're controlling the puck as much as they are, that you just be shooting away, because eventually some of them are going to go in, and hopefully enough of them are going to go in that you get the win, right? So, I don't know. Shoot the puck, okay? And that's your Kraken. Let's go ahead. Let's talk some Mariners. All right, and the Mariners right now. It is the off season. Things are heating up around the league in general. The Mariners still haven't done anything big, but um, there's there's a free agent out there that wants to come to Seattle, and that is Blake Snell. He has recently risen the 12th man flag, in which Mike Tirico himself on the broadcast said, "Oh, that's Blake Snell, 2 times Cy Young Award winner, and he wants to pitch for the Mariners." Said that on the broadcast. He rang the siren at the Apple Cup. He's making it known to everybody that he can that he wants to pitch for the Mariners. And I would love to have him as a Mariner. Um, Again, I'm not somebody who I don't really care about what the the idea of the type of pitcher you want to have is. The type of pitcher you should want to have is the winning type, the dominant type, and that's what Blake Snell can be. Again, just won a Cy Young Award, his second one. Um, his I don't have it up in front of me. I've been working a ton of hours, so I don't have all the stats in front of me. But Blake Snell, I know his ERA was like in the twos. It was like 2.33 or something like that. I mean, these are types of guys that do they pitch the exact style that you have in mind for your team? No, but should you take yourself out of getting a dominant player just because they don't fit the style that you want or that you like? I don't think that makes any sense at all. It's baseball. When the pitcher is up there on the mound, he's going one on one with the batter. Okay, and I think Blake Snell has proven that he is one of the best out there in that one versus one situation. It doesn't matter what his style is. The fact is that he's dominant up there. And again, because he's from here, he wants to be here. Do I really expect him to take a hometown discount? No. We've heard about that happening just this year. Again, can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the pitcher over there in Philly that just re-signed with the Phillies and took a hometown discount to stay with him just because he likes being there. Well, Blake Snell wants to come to Seattle because he's from here and wants to be here. So it's not very often that you get like big time free agents that want to come to your city, Seattle. So hopefully we can make it work. If not, then I'm hoping it's because we get Yamamoto, the pitcher from Japan. Okay, that would be, to me, the only reason why you wouldn't go out and sign a Blake Snell, because you want to go out and sign a Yamamoto, who is going to cost just as much or more. Who knows how much people are going to be willing to pay for him, but he is posted now, and teams can start negotiating with him. And to me, if I had to choose, as much as I would love to have Blake Snell here, I would prefer Yamamoto. He's what, 5 or 6 years younger, and he's dominant right now as a pitcher. And because he's only 25, he's still got plenty of years ahead of him, and he's got years where he could still be getting better. With even though he's as dominant as he is now, he's still got years in front of him where he should still be getting better. So do you want to go with the older guy who is a hometown guy? And I root for the hometown guys, right, to do well and come back to their city. I myself, when I was a kid, that was like my dream, is like, oh well, wouldn't it be great to play for your hometown team and be the hero of that team? Yeah, of course. So in that way, I want the Mariners to sign Blake Snell because I want that for Blake Snell. But if they really are in on Yamamoto, then I think before you go out and decide to sign up Blake Snell, you do need to go after Yamamoto first and see if that's um, something that's possible. If he would want to come here and see how much that's going to cost. Uh, and we don't actually know how much uh, the Mariners are going to be willing to put on the payroll this year, right? Yamamoto is going to cost you more. But if you go out and sign a Yamamoto, because he's so young, you can have him around so long, and he's going to cost you a lot. You have so many prospects. Um, you know, again, as fans, we grow attached to these players, but like a Bryce Miller, like a Brian Wu, those guys now become a little bit more expendable. They become pieces that you can use to go get the bat, because as much as Blake Snell wants to be here, he's a hometown guy and he's a pitcher. And yeah, this ballpark is great for pitchers. We don't get bats as free agents that want to come to Seattle. So if you sign a Yamamoto, and if he doesn't sign, even then, still, if you sign a Blake Snell, then you use those assets that you have to go get the bigger bats that wouldn't come here in free agency, but you can trade for them and get them on your team. I think that is going to be the way that the Mariners are going to handle this off season, just based on what we've seen and what we've heard. You can go out, and pitching is a strength of the Mariners already, but think about it, make it even stronger, and then you have so much in your system that you can use to go out and get the bats that you need. I really, really love that idea. So, as much as I want them to go get bats, uh, you know, that might not be what we want them to focus on in free agency. Free agency, maybe we really want them to focus on the pitchers so that they can use their their players to go and trade for some big time bats. That seems like it might that might be the best way to go about it. So that's what I'm rooting for either way. You know, the other benefit, or not benefit, but the other incentive that I have for wanting Yamamoto more, it's not just that he's younger, but it's that he is from Japan. And does that help? He says he wants to play on a team with other Japanese players. Again, I'm still having I still have hope in my heart that the Mariners would be able to sign a Shohei Ohtani. And then if Yamamoto comes here, does Ohtani feel a little bit more comfortable about coming here as well? You got Yamamoto, you have Ichiro hanging around, you have this culture here, and people that you can talk to and be comfortable with and around. That's another thing to think about. Where again, I think a lot of fans are just, again, they are already getting attached to Blake Snell just because he is a free agent that wants to be here. But in the long run, Yamamoto might have, just won the benefit of being younger and being a dominant pitcher already. And then the added benefit of maybe it's, another another tool that you have, or thing that you dangle in front of Otani to get him to come here. So that's what's going on with the Mariners. It's just basically rumors right now. uh, nothing big yet. But that's the real fun time of year. I mean, I still at this point I'm not having a lot of confidence in the front office and what they're going to be able to get done. Not any confidence at all in ownership and that they're going to let the front office be able to spend the money that they're going to need to spend to get these guys to come. But we will wait and see. You never know, right? So keep your fingers crossed and just hope that. John Stanton feels like spending some money this year. Spending some money to make some money. Let's see here. That's the Mariners, really. I mean, it's slow going right now. I think the reason why they haven't made any big moves is because they are waiting on Yamamoto and seeing if they will get him or not. And I think, like Snell is not signing anywhere because he's also waiting to see if Yamamoto's going to go to the Mariners or not, and he's probably waiting and hoping that Yamamoto goes somewhere else so that he can come to the Mariners. But we'll see, and I'm going to really be bummed either way if we find out. Oh, the Mariners, they waited on signing anyone because they wanted to get Yamamoto, and then it's going to be a bummer if they didn't even come close on that, and then they missed out on Snell, even though it does seem like Snell is waiting. But what if they take too long, and then Snell starts getting the offers from everybody, and then the Mariners come in. And then they go, okay, well, we didn't get Yamamoto. You're our second choice, so let's give you, let's negotiate now. And they come in, and then they're way below what everybody else has been offering Snell in the meantime. That's kind of stuff to worry about. Just because you have to worry about what this ownership is going to be willing to spend. Again, just keeping my hopes up. Or not keeping my hopes up because my hopes are down about it. I'm not expecting that they're going to, but crossing my fingers that they will, let Jerry Dipoto spend some money this year. All right, there's your Mariners. Let's go ahead and you know what? Everybody else, we're talking offseason Mariners. Everybody else is just starting the offseason. The Rain, the Sounders now, or they've been in the offseason for a long time. The Storm, the Sea Dragons, and there's just nothing to report on those teams right now. So, let's just jump to the Seahawks now and talk a little Seahawks. All right, and I am recording this on Wednesday night. They have a big game on Thursday against the Dallas Cowboys. Thursday night football. And this is huge. This is an absolutely huge game. You win this game, and again, you are just giving yourself some cushion for that playoff spot. Lose this game, and now you really are talking about potentially missing the playoffs. At that point, you're talking about being 500. We'll be watching very closely the rest of the weekend to see what the other teams in the NFC do to potentially catch up with us. All of a sudden now we also have to worry about the Rams, who have beaten us twice. We can't end the season with a tied record with them because they'll obviously have the tiebreaker with beating us twice. Uh, you know, and again, the NFC is just so uh, down right now that uh, you don't feel like overly worried about other teams, but you feel worried about the Seahawks and them not getting the job done. I mean, and that's just going to be really sad if they can't with how bad the NFC is this year. Um, there's, yeah, I mean, we're looking at, who's closest with us right now. The Vikings, uh, the Packers are right behind us. Um, yeah, I mean, the Falcons and Saints. One of those guys got to get in, and if one of them goes in a streak, then they could potentially catch up with us. Because again, we're in the hardest part of our schedule right now. Uh, we still got again Cowboys right now. Then we go San Francisco. Then we go, then we come home for the Eagles. But that's 3 tough games in a row still. And you lose those games, even though those other teams are so bad. Somebody's going to get a win in there somewhere at some time, and either catch up to you or surpass you, and you can't have that. So out of these next 3 games, we have to have at least 1 win. If we go the next 3 games and lose them all, then we're looking at a potential disaster of a season. So what do the Seahawks need to do to beat the Cowboys? Well, they're going to need to run the ball. And let's talk about how they're going to get that done by looking at the injury report. Out guard Phil Haynes. Okay, you got one of your guards out of the game. Thankfully, that's the only lineman you have out, though. I mean, this might be one of the healthiest games that we have on the offensive line. Abe Lucas looking like he's going to be back for this game, so you'll have both of your starting tackles in the game for like the first time this season. So hopefully that is going to be something that helps out. And then pretty healthy across the line otherwise. So that should help the running game. Unfortunately, listed as doubtful, Kenneth Walker III, still with that oblique injury. I don't think he's going to play. They list him as doubtful, but they might as well just list him as out. They may, the way they talked about it, it sounds like he's not going to be ready this game at all. So, again, you're going to be going with Charbonnet. And Shane Waldron's going to have to call more run plays. This team, I think they can be run on. And again, it's just everything is so connected, right? Football really is like chess. You move one piece to help set up another piece, and if the Seahawks aren't running the ball, then they can't get anything over the middle in the passing game. But if they're not getting anything over the middle in the passing game, then uh, it makes it easier for those linebackers and safeties to play up closer to the line and defend the run. And Shane Waldron right now is not doing anything to make the safeties and linebackers worry about that. Everything is an out route. Everything's streaking down the field. So I really got to see a better game called by Shane Waldron in this game. If we go down in this game, I'm gonna feel. I mean, like I said, that's really hurting our playoff chances. So I'm going to be bummed. But at least I feel like, hey, we gave it our best shot. I mean, there's at one point, we were 6-3, right? And now, you, you lose the last couple of games in horrific fashion, really, and it just doesn't. It just doesn't feel like they ever gave it their best shot, or that they were put in position to give it the best shot, right? So I need to see. I need to see Shane Waldron set up his players to win the game. I need to see JSN get more targets by running over the middle. I need to see DK on more of those slants. I need to see the tight ends get involved in passing over the middle, because you know what? I watch this Cowboys team on tape now, and when I watch, I feel like a lot of their weakness on defense is the same as yours. As good as that defensive line can be, as good as their corners have been this year. I mean, they got a guy that just set the record for most pick sixes in a season, right? As good as that all is, I think they struggle with the same things. I think they struggle to defend and cover the pass over the middle. I don't think they're a great run defense when I watch them. So attack it. That's one thing. Like I said, I haven't seen Shane Waldron doing a good job of attacking other teams' weaknesses, and he's got to this game. He's got to, and just he can look at his own team, look at the defense that you are on the practice field with every day, and say, hey, well, this is what beats our defense. This is how we can use this same game plan to beat their defense. And then, speaking of our defense, hey, we're getting ready to go up against the #1 offense right now. A lot of people are talking about Dak Prescott being a contender for MVP right now. We are going to have to play a lot better on defense. You need our linebackers and safeties to cover. Do we need to rotate different players in on certain downs? Does Jordan Brooks, does he need to take over linebacker duties on passing down situations? Get Bobby Wagner out of there and bring in either an extra safety or an extra corner in these situations to get maybe better coverage in that portion of the field. These I don't have the answers. I just have some ideas of things that they could do to try something different. But at the end of the day, when I watch the defense, I don't see anything wrong in the game plan that the defense is doing. I just need to see that defense execute. Same thing with the defensive line. I mean, look, Leonard Williams, Jarron Reed, Draymond Jones, Boye Mafe. That's a lot of talent on that defensive line. Yes, we are missing Nuosu, and that has been a big loss for us ever since we lost him. But there's still a lot of talented players, a lot of players, that you drafted high or players that you gave money to or traded for that, when they all are all together, you would think that they would generate more pass rush because of all the talents that is there. But we see one or two of them do a lot on their own here and there. But I just, when I'm watching the defensive line, it doesn't always look like they are working together as a team. I see individuals, you know, having great moments, but the unit as a whole together never really looks like it's, you know, living up to all of the talent that is there. And I think that's been the big disappointment this year so far. Are we still in the playoff spot? Yes, we are right now, but just barely. And with all the talent that is on this team, on both offense and defense, it sure would have been nice to have. I mean, like I said, those two Rams losses, they're killing you right now. It would be nice to have those two more wins, and you're feeling like, yes, destiny is in your hands, and you're not only in the playoff hunt, you're obviously going to be fighting for the division as well. And right now, that's that's out of the question. Right now, they just need to be fighting and be worried about even getting into the playoffs in the first place. Again, I'm definitely not one of these people that's saying like, "Hey, just lose the rest of the games and miss the playoffs." You don't want that. That's not going to be fun to watch. One, two. There's too much talent on this team for that. Like I said, this team, get them in the playoffs, and this team really seriously could make a serious run in the playoffs because of the talent that's on there. They just need to get it together here in the regular season to give themselves that chance. So yeah, I mean, to me, like I said, to win this game, they're gonna have to just study themselves and see what beats them so bad, and that should tell you what should be able to beat the Cowboys. It's not like the Cowboys are unbeatable, even as good as they're looking. I mean, remember, they did lose to the Cardinals. So this is a beatable team for sure. They just got to go get it done. All right. If they lose this one, like I said though, like I'm going to be really worried about their chances of making the playoffs. And again, that's the other reason why you don't want this team to just lose out the rest of the way. Because where you're talking right now, because of, again, look how bad the records are across the league right now. You're still, even at this point, you're going to end up in the middle of the pack, which is not a great pick to have, right? You're not going to get that much better because everybody's talking about quarterback, right? You're not going to get that much better of a quarterback, or your chances of getting a quarterback don't increase that much by moving up, like, the potential 4 or 5 spots that you could be talking about a difference in picking. Because you're not getting Caleb Williams, you're not getting Drake May. Do you know how much it would cost your team to trade from like the number 15, 16 pick to go all the way up to number 1? You don't want to do that. um, because you're talking about trading a ton of picks. You're probably talking about trading players on your team as well. You don't. We're not in rebuild mode. Okay, we're in retool mode. And you gave uh, Geno Smith a retool contract where you can get out of that contract at any time, have all that money to spend on free agents or the quarterback of the future if you find them or whatnot, right? So you don't need to, uh, gamble your future away because of the way this team is constructed right now and the talent that's on the team. So you don't need to also. Just throw away the playoffs. Like you should be trying to get in the playoffs. And if a quarterback falls to you in the first round, but yeah, go ahead, take them. And you know you can decide right away if you want Geno Smith on the team next year or not, or you know. And have this rookie sit behind Geno, or do you get rid of Geno and just have this rookie take over right away? So many options. Again, because of the way they drew up their contracts. Uh, so I think because of all the possibilities that you have for this team, this isn't the kind of team that you want missing the playoffs just because you're feeling bummed out that you lost some games that you thought you should win. Let's see. I guess I'm rambling, so I don't have anything more that I need to say about the Seahawks other than let's just hope they win. Um, like I said, Dallas is a beatable team. It's it's prime time. We've lost, you know, 2 games in a row now. Uh, I don't have the stat in front of me, but I'm sure that it's very rare that Pete Carroll has lost 3 games in a row throughout his NFL career. So just hopefully this is not going to be one of those times, and that this team is hungry for uh, for this win and to get back on the right track and to uh, drastically increase their playoff odds by getting a win in this game. All right, that's your Seahawks, and that's going to be the show. All right, let me know, what do you think? Do you think the Seahawks can win? I'm going to predict they win a close one. The Cowboys, they are a high powered offense right now. They're running on all cylinders. I think Shane Waldron, the talks of him potentially getting a head coaching job, they've gone out the window. And now he's straight up fighting for his job. So he's going to want to come out and give it his best shot. The players have underperformed. They're going to come out hopefully hungry and on fire to show that they are better than what they have been recently and give it their best shot. And hopefully that's all going to be in unison and work together to add up to a win. And I think this could be like a 24-21 type of score. It's gonna be close. I don't think the Cowboys are gonna blow us out. All right. Let me know how you feel about that. Let me know how you're feeling about the Mariners offseason right now. How bad do you want Blake Snell? Or do you want Yamamoto? Or are you still just so focused on Otani that's all you're thinking about? Or what trades do you want the Mariners to make? Let me know. All right. That's going to be the episode. So Thank you so much for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken and breathe fire. So take cover, because with a sea of sound, you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.